Last night, Indiana residents joined people across the country in protesting police brutality. The protests were sparked by two separate grand jury decisions to not indict white police officers who killed two black men, one in New York and the other in Ferguson, Missouri. In an effort to reduce those kind of occurrences, President Obama announced this week he wants the federal government to buy up to 50,000 body cameras for local police forces. Some police departments are already using the cameras, including a handful in Indiana. But as Barbara Harrington reports, some say departments need to be mindful of how they're using the cameras.
When Bloomington police officer Matt Gilmore gets into his squad car, he has an extra set of eyes. The Bloomington Police Department purchased 30 body cameras last year as part of a trial program. The officers wear the cameras on their chests and flip them on during interactions with the public, giving an up-close perspective of what's happening.
In this environment, we're dealing with all kinds of people, and so having the ability to document that, I think, is important, and I think the officers see how important it is also.
Once an officer's shift is over, the footage is downloaded to a server. Interactions where nothing happens aren't saved, but those involving an arrest or other incidents are kept as evidence, and police expect those recordings will play a crucial role in prosecuting cases.
It's documenting what happens. It's much like the in-car video cameras that we have and a lot of other police departments have. You know, those record traffic stop type encounters because they're in the cars. That has gone a long way in really helping with convictions in drunk driving cases. And so I see this as just kind of an extension of that.
While police see the new technology as an important tool in crime fighting, others see it as an invasion of privacy.
I think the camera is not really getting at the issue.
Indiana University cybersecurity expert Fred Kate says the push to outfit police with body cameras is understandable but daunting.
Already one of the things that people talk about that's fairly distinctive about U.S. policing is how difficult it is to engage with police now. You know, they're in cars, they wear body armor, and adding a camera is only going to add to that. You know, who's going to want to have a word with a police officer if you know that everything you're saying is being recorded, including your image while talking?
Since most police departments require their officers to hit record for every interaction they have with the public, that means the cameras aren't rolling at all times. And Kate says that's causing some concerns.
If you say, oh, no, well, they're going to be able to turn it off. You know, so when they order food in a restaurant or when they're on break, they're going to turn it off. Well, then how do we know it's going to come back on? How do we know that it's going to record the next interaction? So part of the argument here is we have to record everything in order to make sure we get the one moment that really counts. And I think that's going to be really brutal to police.
Kate says there are also concerns about what will happen to the footage that's recorded and who will have access to the video. Both the International Association of the Chiefs of Police and the Police Executive Research Forum have released recommendations for best practices regarding the use of body cams. The Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Department is looking to those models as they test the new technology. IMPD is launching a body camera pilot program within the next 2 weeks. Several vendors are lending them the devices on a temporary basis.
So the pilot project will involve 6 officers representing our different districts, our 6 different districts in the city. So we have representation from each one of those districts, a variety of people from different shifts who will then use those in their shifts on probably about a 6-week basis.
Once the trial period is over, IMPD will evaluate the program and decide whether to purchase the cameras, which they say could protect officers and citizens.
Many times, you know, memories are different than somebody else's. Their ability to recall is not necessarily what a camera would record. So it gives us a better and more accurate picture of an encounter between the police and the public.
4887s on a black Yukon.
That's what officers back in Bloomington are finding. The cameras capture an unbiased account of what happens when they're out on patrol. And police say that's helping to build up trust.
It's transparency, and so I believe it lends credibility to what police officers do.
Officers in West Lafayette are also equipped with body cameras, and the Greenwood Police Department is testing them out as part of a trial program.